Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first information session.
Okay.
What I was saying, welcome to the first information session for the call of proposals, which we launched last week as part of the project Spreading Social Enterprise, Training, Work and Inclusion. The project is funded by the European Union and is implemented by ENGIM, Centro Sociale Murialdo, HELP and LIBERA. This session today will be recorded and will be uploaded on our YouTube channels so that you can all watch it again, and also to those who are not able to be connected today. So before starting, I am Eleonora Drudi. I am the project coordinator for ENGIM in Albania. And I'm connected here also with my colleagues, and also I saw HELP. Today, during this information session, I will guide you through the guidelines of the call, which we opened last week. Specifically, we will see the criteria that apply to the call, the documentation that you have to send, and all the relevant parts of the call that you have to keep in mind before submitting the project. So before going through the part of the call, I would like, for those who haven't participated to some of our activities, just to give a brief introduction to the project. The project has a duration of 30 months. It started in May 2022, and it is funded by the European Union. As I was saying, the project is mainly implemented by HELP, Centro Sociale Murialdo in FEAR, and LIBERA. The main areas of intervention are social entrepreneurship and vocational training. These are the main aspects of the project. I just would like to give you an overview of the overall and specific objective. First of all, the overall objective of the action is to support the sustainable and inclusive development of the Albanian economy, promoting social entrepreneurship and the social reuse of confiscated assets. While the specific objective is to strengthen new models of social entrepreneurship and the managerial skills of local CSOs that ensure the socioeconomic inclusion of disadvantaged groups, focusing on the social reuse of confiscated assets. The main outcomes of the project are three. The first one is strengthening and disseminating new models of vocational social enterprise. The second outcome is strengthening the management skills of local CSOs by exchanges of international best practices and practical models in the reuse of confiscated assets. And then we have the third outcome, which is in fact the subgrant, which will in fact increase the socioeconomic inclusion by supporting a new social enterprise with a specific focus on the social reuse of confiscated assets. The first outcome is in fact the spreading of vocational social enterprise. This is part of what ENGIM is doing since some years. Here in FEAR, in fact, as you all may know, we do manage 3 vocational social enterprise. The most known is Che Buono Social Pastry. We also have an incubator, which is called the Spartano Secare, and thanks to this project, we opened also a third vocational social enterprise within the premises of the Murialdo Vocational School, which is a mechanical workshop. The second outcome, as I was saying before, is mainly directed through to civil society organizations by applying two main things. One is the enhancement of CSO's skills and knowledges about social enterprises. We did in fact the roundtables and also foster their active participation and economic opportunities within the Albanian territory. The third outcome, which is the main reason why we are here today, is the fact that one of the components of the Spreading Social Enterprise project is the subgranting scheme. The subgranting scheme provides financial support to non-profit organizations in Albania for the implementation and development of new social enterprises, which can be either in a confiscated assets with the aim of the social reuse of confiscated assets, while on the other hand, it is open to proposals all over the territory of Albania, which are particularly, which wants to promote the participation of women-led businesses or the reintegration of disadvantaged groups. To conclude, we can say that the impact of the project will be mainly on three levels: on the target groups, so on the beneficiary, which will be reintegrated within social enterprises; on a technical level, so thanks to the involvement of CSOs all over Albania, we will also arrive to the institutional level, so more on a technical level. And the third level is the policy one, as we will also realize some outputs, such as the policy paper and the capitalization report, which will be the main objective of the meetings we did with the CSOs. I would like now to pass to the part of the call of proposals. So, as I was saying, we're now going to the open call for proposals. So mainly, this call for proposals wants to award innovative projects aimed at generating a positive impact on the territories and society of Albania. As you may know, the call for proposals provides only one lot with two different options. Option one mainly is for proposals to create a new social enterprise within the identified confiscated assets from the organized crime. Specifically, you will find more information about the confiscated asset in Annex G. The asset in question is this apartment in Durres. Proposals in option one, and we will see also in option two, should be characterized by significant innovation content and must be able to generate a positive change in the local social economy system and or economic growth. For us, in fact, it will be important that this aspect will be taken into consideration within the project proposal. So option one, the main objectives are, first of all, the creation of local networks and partnerships with different stakeholders in the targeted area. As an indicator, so it will be important to think about the reuse and the sustainable reuse of confiscated assets from the organized crime. The second objective will be the enforcement, so to enforce social inclusion and the economic cohesion through the social reuse of confiscated assets. The third one would be to provide employment opportunities. So the creation of a new social enterprise will have to provide employment opportunities for victims of organized crime. Then we will have also as objective to enforce their integration of vulnerable and marginalized groups in local communities. And of course, and we also see this in option two, to strengthen the collaboration between different stakeholders at the local level. Of course, with a focus against the crime and corruption. The main suggested activities that we put inside the option one, which are not exhausted, are activities that offer social services for a person in need, activities which are related with profitable services, activities that create social cohesion and foster inclusiveness, activities that can promote the community mobilization, so citizens' action and education about legality against organized crime, activities that can mobilize the work and expertise of local resources, activities that can guarantee the sustainable reuse of the confiscated asset, or activities that develop CSO's financial sustainability. Of course, here we try to put as much activities as possible, but of course, the list is not exhaustive. So we can now pass to option two of the call of proposal. Option two is, on the other hand, open to any proposal in the territory of Albania, and it is related to the creation of a new social enterprise. Also, in this case, proposals should be characterized by significant innovation, as I was saying before, and must be able to generate a positive change. Here, as we try to underline the fact that it will be important also to ensure the sustainability of the services and products. This is also a part that we try to underline as possible in the application form, and then we would like you to underline in your project proposal. Of course, the objectives are a little bit different, as in this case, we're not in a confiscated asset, but we can find, for example, the objective as to enforce social inclusion and economic cohesion. Also here to provide employment opportunities for local vulnerable and marginalized groups. And in the end, to promote the networking between CSOs and other local stakeholders. We tried as well here to put a list of suggested activities, which are more or less the same as we tried to put in option one. In this case, we try to underline, for example, social services for person in need, because it's something that is underlined and specified inside the law on social enterprises. We put activities that can contribute to the socio-economic development of the local communities. We have also activities that can promote capacity building, employment, integration of vulnerable and marginalized groups. We have activities that develop the CSO's financial sustainability, that can promote human rights, that can provide opportunities to target vulnerable groups, and so on. What it is important and what we want to underline, that is something that applies to both option 1 and option 2, is of course, first of all, the deadline, which you all may know is the 26th of April, and the amount. We try to put as a minimum amount for your project proposal 70,000 euros, while maximum amount is 80,000 euros. And with a co-funding of a minimum 5% outside of the total amount of funds provided for the subgrant. For both the option, the minimum duration of your project proposal should be 10 months, while the maximum should be 11 months. So what I want to underline here is that the only organization which will be awarded the subgrant must demonstrate during the project implementation to have at least requested the status of social enterprise. This is something that I want to underline, as we know that is not a simple process, but it is important that this thing is applied during the period of the project implementation. So that's why it is important also that all the papers of your organization are in line to request the status of social enterprise. We can now pass to the eligibility of applicants, and we will see that to be eligible for this call of proposal, you must be a legal person. You have to be established in Albania as a civil society organization. So you have to be registered as a OIF, so as a non-profit organization according to the Albanian legislation. The headquarters of your organization have to be in the territory of Albania. You have to be registered and acting in the territory of Albania. We will see later the documents that you have to submit to provide your eligibility. You should not implement exclusively religious or political party activities, and of course not have any history of legal proceedings related to fraud or corruption. We also specify the eligibility of co-applicants in case, of course, you want to have another co-applicant as part of your project proposal. In this case, potential co-applicants must satisfy at least some of the eligibility points of the applicants, which are the first one, the second, the fourth, and the sixth. So in this case, the co-applicants should be legal, should be an Albanian civil society organization, should be registered and acting in the territory of Albania, and should not have any history of legal proceedings. This is something important. So it must demonstrate as the applicant the fact that it does not have any legal proceedings. The co-applicant, as it is specified, will participate to the project by receiving economic compensation for the provision of know-how. So in this case, operational knowledge and skills which can be needed to carry out some activities that you want to put inside your project proposal. By being patterned, which means a symbolic form of participation and expression of appreciation, or the third thing can be that the co-applicant can provide goods and services which are not economically evaluated. So ENGIM will accept mainly the following number of applications. So we decided to put that the lead applicant may not submit more than one application under this call for proposals, while at the same time can be a co-applicant in another application. And third, the co-applicant may be a co-applicant in more than one application. In addition, the organizations that are not eligible from this call of proposals are, first of all, the entities that are already partners, of course, of the project, entities that have already been granted fund with previous ENGIM subgrants, which can, on the other hand, apply as co-applicant, and entities, of course, that are a direct beneficiary of the project. So let's go through the actions. So the project, so the main non-eligible actions are, first of all, projects which, of course, consist entirely or in most part of infrastructure reconstruction and or purchase of equipment. Those actions which concern only on mainly individual sponsorship for the participation in workshop and so on. Actions that concern individual scholarship, which address only or mainly community awareness and or advocacy campaign. Projects which consist entirely of preparatory works or studies, which support political parties or illegal activities. We can find also the purchase of land, building and offices, deficit funding. We have retroactive financing for projects that are already in implementation or completed. And the last, which are important, which are the actions taking place outside Albania and humanitarian activities. So let's go now to the eligibility of costs. What are the eligible costs that you can propose inside the budget form? So first of all, we have costs that relate to services and works. Of course, shall relate to those activities that are performed during the implementation period. So in this case, they should be costs relating, for example, to supplies that have to be delivered or installed during the implementation period. Of course, such as the signature of the contract, the placing of an order, and second, we have costs incurred that should be paid, of course, before the submission of the final reports. The second category of eligible costs are those that are indicated in the estimated overall budget for the action project, which are in Annex B. Those costs that are, of course, necessary for the implementation of the action. Costs that are identifiable and verifiable, that comply with the requirements of applicable tax and social legislation, and they are reasonable, justified, and in compliance with the requirements of good financial management. We also put costs that are related to human resources, which should not exceed the 20% of the total grant of the project. Of course, the cost for human resources is important. They must be included, as we specified, only when they are fully involved in all the phases of the project implementation. While other costs that relate to project staff appointed only for specific activities, of course, must be included in the activity cost. This is important. We have also per diem, which cover accommodation, meal, and local travel. Also costs related to other costs and services that you can find in the budget line, they should not exceed the 7% of the total grant of the project. Also, the overhead cost should not exceed, must not exceed the 7% of the total grant. And they may include, in this case, office rent, for the case, of course, of the confiscated asset, will not pay the rent for the apartment. While here you can include consumables and utilities, bank charges, and so on. In the end, we put venue rent costs for events, seminars, if you want to do some conferences or trainings for publication, and in the end, audit expenses. What are, on the other hand, the costs which are not eligible? So the ineligible costs. Ineligible costs in this case are debts and debt service charges. We have provision for losses, debts of potential future liabilities, the purchase, rent, or leasing of land, as we were saying also in the part of non-eligible actions. We have currency exchange losses, in-kind contributions, customs and import duties, fines, second-hand equipment, conversion costs. Any leasing I will go quite fast as they are quite a lot. We have depreciation costs, credit to third parties are not eligible. And what I want to underline is also VAT. In this case, they are not eligible as they exercise duties and other special consumption taxes, having equivalent effect of the VAT. Then we have auditing annual financial statements, which are required by the organization itself. We have costs for categories not foreseen in the budget, costs supported by documents not in line with the fiscal law, expenditures which are made outside Albania, expenses for the purchase of furniture, strictly personal and non-transferable to beneficiaries, and also representation costs. So how to apply for the call of proposals? So all the applicants must prepare and submit their application in English. Of course, I want to underline that any error or major discrepancy which can be found inside the application form or the amount of the budget or somewhere else may lead to the rejection of the application. Handwritten applications will not be accepted. And of course, the project proposal should be presented following all the application guidelines and the formats that we provided in our website. So the first documents to be submitted are first of all the application form, which is in Word format. You have the budget form, which we would like you to send us also in Excel format. We have the logical framework form, the legal identity file, the financial identification form, and the declaration on honor. In case you are missing one of these documents, we will not go on with the evaluation. In addition to these documents, it is important that both the applicant and co-applicants have to submit these supporting documents. So in order to facilitate, I know that they are quite long, and also difficult to request, but I would like to show you what are these 7 documents in case, of course, you have some questions. So I want to show you, okay, so first of all, we were saying that the first one is the court decision and registration. I will show you. Okay. I hope that you see. So this is the first document. We try to give you an example of all the documents so that you may know. I know that you all know these documents, but I think sometimes it's better to go it through. This is the first one, which is in fact the court decision, and we will need just a copy of this. The second one is the certificate of registration, which is the Vertetim. I will go it through. The third doc in here, this document we need it in original. The third one, the third are 2 documents. The first one is the act of establishment of the organization. And the second one is the statute, which is this one. Sorry that. Okay. Which is the statute of your organization. The fourth document is the NIPT. This one. The fifth one is the certificate of tax payment. Okay. The sixth document are the 2 financial statements of your organization. In this case, we will need those of 2021 and of 2022, which should be based on this model. So this is of course an example. This is the one of 2020, but as I was saying, it's better for you to provide those of 21 and 22, as are those of the last 2 years. Okay. And then we have the 7 document. This last one, they are basically 4 documents. So the first one, for example, we brought the one from FIR, but you have to find the Vertetim from the local or regional giucata. In this case, this is from FIR, as it is written here. There are no penal proceedings. So this is the first one. The second one, also from the local, is this, also about civil and penal proceedings, which are from your local giucata. And then we have 2 from the court in Tirana. Here, in fact, it is specified the name of the administrator of your organization with the NIPT, so it's more specific. And the second one is this, which is also which underlines the fact that there are no specific process, civil process on the name of your organization. Okay, I hope I was a little bit that it was fine for you to just show you the documents, but I think it is important because I wanted to show you what are, because I know that there are a lot and that it can take some time to have them all. But in case you are just missing one of these documents, we will not be able to proceed with the evaluation, because the first step for you is to submit the documents and the supporting documents. So in case you're missing just one of them, we will not be able to proceed with the evaluation. So that's why I wanted to show you the documents. So let's go now to where and how to send the applications. Applications must be submitted in one original and 3 copies. And they have to be bound and enclosed in separate envelope. You should write the name of the applicant organization, the title of the project, and also specify if it is the original or the copy. So all the 3 copies must contain all the documents that we have seen before, just those that are the annex A, B, C, and D, and E and F, and all the supporting documents. What we try to ask you is that in addition to the documents, they also must be supplied in the electronic format. So we ask you to put inside the envelope a USB pen drive where you can upload also the online documents that you have in Word format, in Excel, and so on. The outer envelope must bear, in fact, the reference number of the budget, the name of the applicant organization, the title of your project, of your submitted proposal, the address of the applicant, and the words not to be opened before the opening session. So the application must be submitted in a sealed envelope by private courier, or on the other hand, you can just send them by hand delivery at this address that you also find inside the guidelines. And of course, applications which are sent by any other means, of course, will be rejected. To facilitate your application, you will find at the end of the application form a checklist that it will help you to check if all your documents are fine. Of course, incomplete applications, as I was saying before, so any missing documents or incomplete applications will be rejected. Let's go to the evaluation and selection of applications. What I want to underline here is that, first of all, the first step, so the administrative and eligibility application is mainly based on the supporting documents. So as I was saying before, please verify if your documents and supporting documents are fine. You can also ask us if they are okay, because any missing document may lead to the rejection of the application only on that base, and you will not be able to proceed to the second phase of the evaluation. Once you will pass the first step, there will be a second step, which is the technical evaluation. You can find all the specification of this evaluation in the guidelines. At the end of this technical evaluation, the subgranting committee will do a ranking list, and only the first 3 proposals, which ranked the highest score, will then proceed to the final step of the evaluation. In this call for proposals, we try to include also a final evaluation of the proposals, which is in this case an explanation of your project in front of the jury. So the first 3 proposals which will pass the technical evaluation will be called to come in presence in front of the subgranting committee to present their project. And at the end of this final evaluation, only the first project proposal to receive the highest point will be awarded the subgrant. So to conclude, more or less, I also try to put here the indicative timetable of the process. So the deadline for the submission is the 26th of April. We will inform the applicants on the opening of the administration part and the eligibility phase by the 12th May, and then the mid-May we'll inform them of the first part, and then we will go through the final part at the end of May. And then the notification of award and contract signature, of course, for the awarded grant will be by the end of June. So I want to thank you for your attention, and I would like now to pass the word to my colleague Elisa, which will tell you more about the budget form. I want to just to go through the budget form, which can be of utmost importance when you write the project.
Përshëndetje të gjithëve. Së pari, para se të kalojmë tek shpjegimi I përgjithshëm I zërave që ne kemi paraqitur tek buxheti si tip formati, do doja thjesht të specifikoja lidhur me dokumentet mbështetëse që janë pjesë e aplikimit, po thjesht janë mbështetëse për pjesën e fundit, të cilën koordinatorja jon foli. Vendimi I gjykatës apo vërtetimet nga tatimi taksat që nuk kemi detyrime, vërtetimet nga gjykata duhet të jenë të 3 muajve të fundit, do me thënë aplikimi nëse është bërë më përpara nga ju, dhe ju bëni aplikimin në mars, duhet të jenë me data janari ose fund dhjetori, diçka e tillë. Do me thënë nuk pranojmë vërtetime që kanë janmar më parë se 3 muaj, do me thënë që kanë 4 muaj afatin e marrjes, se është marrë në nëntor, nuk mund të konsiderohet mandej suportin e aplikimit. Lidhur me pjesën e buxhetit, neve kemi bashkangjitur si aneks buxhetin e përgjithshëm të një projekti, por ky nuk do të thotë që është buxheti që ju mund të ekzekutoni sepse buxhetet tuaja do jenë varësisht aktiviteteve tuaja dhe zërave që ju sipas aktiviteteve do të përfshini në linja të ndryshme të shpenzimeve. Nëse një aplikim juaj do jetë mbështetur apo do të ekzekutohet në pjesën e ose në godinën e pronës së konfiskuar që neve kemi vënë në dispozicionin tuaj, ose do të vënë në dispozicionin tuaj, atëherë është më se natyrshme, domethënë që ju s'do keni shpenzime qiraje dhe nuk mund të vendosen për shembull shpenzime qiraje për godinën apo për ndërtesën, por për shembull mund të keni shpenzime qiraje për varet nga aktiviteti për makineri të ndryshme apo për diçka që ju e merrni në përdorim për një afat të caktuar, por jo qira për godinën. Neve në projektet tona kemi evituar dhe tek kemi evituar dhe sidomos te projekti për të cilin kolegja ime foli, që është projekti europian, kategorikisht nuk kemi bërë deri më sot asnjë pagesë cash dhe do donim që këtë gjë ta vazhdonim edhe në momentin që japim një subgrant tek juve që pagesat cash të evitohen sa më shumë të jetë e mundur. Në manualin e menaxhimit, personi që do nënshkruaj kontratën apo do jetë të specifikuara të gjitha pjesët, nëse lejohet keshi, në çfarë minimumi lejohet apo nëse nuk lejohet fare. Por gjithsesi neve do të dëshironim që pagesat e keshit kategorikisht mos të kryen nga ana juaj, por çdo gjë të funksionim përmjet bankës. Sikurse ka thënë edhe koordinatorja, pjesa e burimeve njerëzore do jetë 20% e pjesës totale të buxhetit, jo më shumë. Gjithçka, domethënë varet, gjithçka e specifikuar në buxhet, në linjat e buxhetit tuaj, varet gjithmonë nga aktiviteti apo nga projekti që ju do të prezantoni linjat, duke analizuar projektin dhe linjat mbështetëse që mund të vendosen të shpenzimeve në buxhet. Kuptoj domethënë që ndoshta në disa raste projektet tuaja mund të kenë si shpenzime edhe shpenzimet e transportit lokal. Shpenzimet e transportit lokal jemi në ndjenjë që s'para gjenden fatura apo mund të jetë një bilet e thjesht autobusi apo fugoni, por do donim që në këto raste që domethënë është pak e vështirë për të gjendur faturat dhe në rastet kur juve parashikoni të bëni pagesa cash brenda një limiti që ne mund të vendosim në këtë projekt, është më mira që të nënshkruhet një kontratë me personin që ofron këtë shërbim, të cilat pastaj do shoqërohen me pagesën e taksës së tatimit në burim.
Sì, padre Ottavio.
E cila vërteton
Finalmente.
Pagesë vërtet të shbërë me bankë. Ne dëshirojmë që çdo pagesë të kalojë me bankë dhe për çdo pagesë të kryer të shoqërohen me pagesat si kundër janë ligjet që shteti shqiptar ofron. Si për shembull pagat, kategorikisht pagat cash nuk tolerohen, nuk njihen. Do të njihen vetëm pagat që janë ose emrat e individëve që janë të prezantuar në listë pagesë, të cilët kanë paguar si pagën neto në bankë dhe ne kemi një dokument që e vërtetojmë këtë gjë dhe pastaj më mbrapa pagesat në muaj në vijim të kontributeve për secilin emër që ju mendoni të bëni pjesë të këtij buxheti. Kryesisht për sa i përket pasaj 5% kofinancim, minimumi është 5%, juve nëse mendoni se mund të kofinanconi 1% më të madhe, mund të bëhet, gjithmonë vlera e kofinancimit 5% do të vendoset mbi grantin e dhënë nga ana jon, ajo që neve mbështesim. Pra kofinancimi juaj do të jetë i parashikuar plus kësaj vlere që ne parashikojmë të mbështesim subgrantin tuaj. Nuk e di nëse keni ndonjë pyetje sepse unë pa patur nuk mund të dalim në konkluzione dhe jemi duke folur në përgjithësi, por nuk e di nëse do keni pyetje për si për koordinatoren edhe për pjesën e dokumenteve mbështetjes apo financës, jeni të lirë ta bëni. Ju faleminderit.
Përshëndetje Elsa.
Po.
Jam Gjena nga Fondacioni Prosin.
Po.
Atë pyetja që kisha, më shumë është për seri, sepse lexova edhe pak tek.
Ok, io ho una domanda.
Lexova edhe pak tek prezantimi tuaj.
Ok, te kjo që lexoj.
Që një organizat.
Is it allowed that an organization to apply?
Në dy projekt propozime dhe normal që në punë njëri dy tjetë fitues, nësa lexova më duket se jo, megjithatë për të një seri.
Is it allowed to apply in different project proposals? No, only in one. I heard it, but I just wanted to clarify, she said. Maybe Eleonora can talk about it if I wasn't clear enough, but from what I have understood is that you need to present only one project proposal, not two. And one other question, I do not hear her very well.
Equipment and supplies.
In the budget line, equipment and supplies, I did not hear you very well. Can you please repeat it?
How much is the eligible percentage when we budget for equipment and supplies?
Okay, what is the limit of this budget item? She's asking.
Okay,
what is the percentage? For purchases of equipment and supplies.
Të lutem, a mund të ma shkruar si pyetje se unë nuk po të kuptoj, do me thënë sa përqind është lejueshme pjesa që ju më thatë për blerjen e pajisjeve, sa përqind? E këtë, atëre, për këto
So, for this part, I will take note about it and I will respond to you later. Okay, ju lutem mbyllni. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, she is talking over the phone. Okay. Sorry. Regarding the percentage that Gena that is asking from, we will allow you percentage, but if this percentage, if you have planned
A mund të fikni mikrofonat, lutem, se nuk jemi duke u kuptuar.
Okay, we can taxi.
I don't understand. She was saying something, or I will mute them. Okay, in case there are other questions.
Përshëndetje, a mundemi një pyetje, të lutem?
Can I make a question, please? Se posso fare una domanda, ok? Alexander Lilla da Nucleus, forse mi è scappato dalla presentazione di Eleonora. Possiamo sapere quante applicazioni saranno i vincitori? Ok, avete detto che il budget il totale sarà 80.000 euro? Sì, 80.000, il minimo 70.000, il massimo 80.000. E il numero dei vincitori? Eleonora ha spiegato. Ok, può spiegare lei.
I'm sorry if
Okay.
it was not clear, but it will be just one sub-grant. The sub-grant is one,
Okay.
yes, so only one will be awarded. We try to divide, it is one lot because we try to put two options, since we have the option for the confiscated asset and the option for proposals all over Albania, but it will be just one sub-grant.
A chart there.
Hi, can I
Okay,
ask?
thank you.
I'm Ada from the Jonathan Center. Thank you so much for the detailed explanation. In your presentation and also at the guideline, the first non-eligible action is projects which consist entirely or in most part of infrastructure construction and or purchase of equipment. Now, from what I explored a little, the venue, it seemed like it was a place that would need reconstruction and being equipped properly. So I don't know, what does it mean entirely or in most part? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Oriana. What I can tell you is that, of course, entirely means that should not cover the entire budget of your proposal. In this case, exactly, in this case, in case you decide to apply for the confiscated assets, it will be normal that you have to provide a part of your budget for the reconstruction, but of course you have to provide also some activities, so other things within your budget. So that's the explanation of that ineligibility. In the case, of course, you will not propose your project in the confiscated asset, of course, it will be inconsistent the fact that the entire budget is for infrastructure. I hope it will be more clear.
Sure, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I just wanted to ask to Elisa if she could clarify better the co-financing, as I think it can be something that can lead to some misunderstandings. Okay. Elisa, we do not hear you.
Më falni se nuk e dëgjova pyetjen. A mund të ma thoni, lidhur me bashkëfinancimin, e dëgjova që ishte pak se Eleonora po kërkoi ndjes. Ma përsërit edhe një herë?
Sì, era sulla parte del cofinanziamento. Se puoi spiegare meglio, così almeno la parte del 5% di cofinanziamento.
Po, pra unë e thash pak më parë, lidhur me...
Yes, I explained it, l'ho spiegato un po' prima, sulla parte del cofinanziamento, che è il minimo. Vede che può avere un cofinanziamento in un valore più alto di 5%, lo può mettere Però questo cofinanziamento dovrebbe essere sempre sopra il valore del subgrant che noi offriamo. Se questo subgrant, il vostro budget, è stato previsto nel valore 80.000 euro, allora il cofinanziamento vostro dovrebbe essere di 5% sopra questo 80.000 euro, che vuol dire un valore minimo di 4.000 euro. Se è 70.000, allora vuol dire che 70.000 è il subgrant che noi offriamo a voi per supportarvi in queste voci del budget, e poi il 5% sopra di questo valore è il valore che si mette da voi, ma è sempre sopra il valore del subgrant, il minimo. Il minimo. Voi poi scegliete dove spenderli. Non so se sono stata chiara, Eleonora. Un'altra domanda sul cofinanziamento? Sì, ok, si può permettere un cofinanziamento in natura, sai, in kind cofinancing, per esempio affitto dell'ufficio? Sì, se il progetto si implementerà in quel oggetto confiscato, tu non puoi offrirlo come contributo in affitto, perché tu sarai lì, implementerai lì il progetto, o per esempio per comprare macchinerie. Se il grant ti dà 20.000 euro per comprare una certa macchineria e tu vuoi aggiungere un'altra parte, finanziarlo, questo dipende sempre come voi volete presentare questo progetto, proposta di progetto. Sì, si può mettere anche nella parte delle macchinerie, delle attrezzature, anche nella parte dei costi consumabili, per esempio l'ufficio, per, non so, utilitari, acqua, elettricità, internet, come questo. Io credo che questo siano permissibili, però datemi anche un vostro indirizzo email per rispondervi più accuratamente, perché per quello che io sono in conoscenza è che quel 5% si decide di spendersi dalla parte del soggetto applicante, che prevede un certo budget e dice dove lui poi ha la flessibilità di mettere, sai, questo 5% lì dove lui pensa più accettabile. Sì, grazie. Se questo 5% ha qualche condizione dove si può mettere, secondo voi? No, volevo chiarificare meglio, sai, se si può fare un in-kind contribution, in questo come per esempio pagare l'acqua, l'internet, elettricità e così via, o la parte dell'affitto quando non è in una proprietà confiscata. Se mi dai un indirizzo email, allora io posso darti una risposta più esatta.
In any case, I want to add that all the questions that you now will be published on our website. So I will put all your questions and answer in one file so that you will all know the answer and you will all know the details. Okay, so you can, maybe it's better if you all send me an email with the questions you have, and then we will publish the answer that you can find more easily. Okay. I don't know if you have other questions. Okay, if there are no other questions about the call, I think that we can close this first information session. I just would like to remind you that on Monday morning, we will also have another session with LIBERA, which will be about the management of social enterprises within confiscated assets. And I will send to you the link as you all registered. I would like also to remind you that participating in the trainings here online and in Tirana next week will be positively evaluated also during the project evaluation part. So please register, and we will wait for you in the trainings. And I want to thank you all for your participation, and we will see you on Monday for those who will participate. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you and bye.